like even then, take on G3. Like don't settle with a draw. You could have still taken on G3, or he's gun shy.
Yep.
It's frustrating right now because he's playing well overall, but I don't think he's not maximizing. He's not. Wesley's very frustrating to deal with. And he's just not.
Wesley's super accurate and frustrating to deal with, but I think you're right. I think you can't wait for it to be handed to you. You have to take the fight fully, And I think that was the game where you were right. Wesley was not just in a worse position, but the key was he was under time pressure for the first time, really. So
that position was really good. I mean, that's got to be extremely disappointing, because he should have at least won a pawn for his, good position there. But he got nothing at all. I see my shout out to Alexandra Botes in the chat, Danny. She's my Fortnite partner. We're going to be competing at TwitchCon. We're we're some of the worst Fortnite players in the chess world, probably, but there's going to be Fortnite tournaments.
Where's that going down?
At TwitchCon. We'll be at TwitchCon. Are you at?
I'm coming for a couple days now. Yeah.
Oh, you are coming, and you didn't tell me.
Changed my
want to surprise me.
I hadn't told you yet.
You wanted to surprise me. Okay.
I was going to surprise you, but so much for that. So,
But yeah, we're training for that.
That sounds fun.
I mean, we got to beat the 10-year-olds.
My son is, pretty good at Fortnite compared to what I can even follow. But
it's like with Fortnite, a lot of people are like, I don't like playing it. All these little kids beat us.
I know.
Well, who can relate to that? Chess players.
That's right.
Chess players can really relate to
That's right. Losing to 9-year-old kids.
Losing to 9-year-old
chess
kids.
players do it better than anybody else. That's right. All right. Well, Vidit is in a Catalan here a little bit better, as he has been.
Well, we've seen this position reversed, this pawn structure, and Vidit was the one slightly better that game, and I was a big fan of how he played. So now Vidit has the same.
I really like this move, Queen A5 too. And we saw Wesley kind of shaking his head after last game.
Wesley has an uncomfortable position here.
He knew he got away with one last game, and now he's a little bit frustrated with his position here. We can tell that much.
He cashed in there. I wonder if that was the right choice. It's hard to complain against it, but it also gave Wesley, because Wesley really didn't want Vidit's knight getting to A5. Then it hit C6 with tempo. He won the pawn,
I think it
but
makes sense.
It's some sort of counterplay. You have to be very precise in these Catalans.
And if you're white, you can even play C5 here and try to just give up. I like this move.
You have to be active. We want to see him go for it.
Right.
If that means an imbalance, if that means giving his pawn back, but it's gotta change.
Yeah, giving up the B3 pawn for the bishop would have been more than good for white. So Wesley doesn't take it. He's going to try to hold the position as it is. You have a nice position with the knight kind of blockading on C7, but it is a pawn. It's a healthy pawn.
It is a pawn. It's just hard to convert. Wesley's going to be so stubborn here. He's going to put his king F8. He's not going to take on B3. He's not taking on B3 next move. Oh well, now he can't. But the point is, he can wait to do that later.
Right.
I mean,
white that's still
has to untangle and
This is a nice move, though. I mean, if white can get the knight to D3, maybe he wants to eventually bring it into F4.
That doesn't. Well, is that maybe knight C1's a bad move? Now I'm getting counterplay. Now what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think I have to play something like King F1 or F3 and King F2. But okay, he plays King G2.
But even if you get your King to F2, A2's hanging now. So then what, you're going to play A4? I mean,
right.
It's a lot of untangling to do. I think the good thing is, though, he is playing quicker. He's got this 20, 30-second lead. I would expect Wesley actually to play fast, that he's down a pawn and he can just sort of play these quick, annoying moves. Because I don't think Black has to find... I mean, Black's position is fairly easy to play. You're just activating your pieces. That it's up to Vidit.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And he's playing... fast and
that's
easy
good.
moves.
That's good.
So it might be easier to play these positions when you're worse as black, just because you get to play faster and your opponent is spending time trying to come up with a winning plan. Okay, A4 played, guards the B5 square. Makes sense. I mean, I still think white is better. I mean, he's up a
So
clean pawn.
what
So
do you think about playing c6? Okay, I wanted to play c6. Wesley's trying to stop that. Because yeah. I wanted to play c6 and bring my knight to c5.
okay, I like this now. C6. You're preparing things like rook b1,
So
rook b7.
f6 here is going okay.
And now white needs to get the rook in quickly to help that pawn. Something
Well,
like
then
rook
you're
b1.
looking at rook b1, rook b6.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at. Rook b1, rook b6. Maybe plant the bishop on c4 if I can. So knight d4, rook b6, a5, bishop d5. But there's rook c5 in that variation. I think Wesley's going to be this is.
I
This
like
is
your
closer
idea
to a
there.
draw.
I really like rook b6, a5, bishop d5 because of the threat
But
of bishop c5.
I've rook c5 right after bishop d5. It's one move too short.
Okay, rook c5. Okay.
Rook c5, you can play.
He plays
Yeah,
rook
he's
a6
now. You know what?
instead.
Wesley's gonna find the moves. You know, that's
Yep, what he does.
there's some moves that are automatic. He's gonna find, and this is now a passive position for white.
Okay, if only you could find a way to move the rook off the 6th rank, though, because if you go to a7 or a8, white, I was going to say, black can't really take on c6 because of rook to c8, and he finds it. This might be a way to make progress.
I can take on f3 and take on c6. And
okay.
I don't think that rook endgame
very
has.
straightforward, actually.
I mean, yes, you have the better rook as white right now.
Right.
But you also have a worse pawn structure now, the d3. I put my rook on a6, bring my king in, nothing.
Yeah, rook a6.
Unfortunate, Wesley's being so resilient here, and there's some sort of Vidit is not getting into positions. Wesley's never really giving him a position where there's a line, there's a concrete line.
Right.
He's always got to like grovel. Wait.
Yeah.
He didn't play.
That was weird.
Okay.
Gives up the a5 pawn. Now Vidit has something, especially with Wesley's time.
Why did he give up the a5 pawn?
I don't know what he was worried about.
So he's going to push the pawn to a6?
Right.
Or is he going to bring... Okay, no?
Rook a6, he maybe has some... I don't know what Vidit's doing. Now he goes to a6.
Well, then the rook should be on a8, right?
Yeah. Okay, so there's
Wesley's
several different ways.
F3. Let's start with f3.
Yeah,
here.
I was going to say you play f3, you play king f4, you play g4, and you try...
I might actually run my king over to g5, like...
Yeah, and one of the points here, everyone, is you're trying to manufacture g4 because this trade creates the potential for Harry to become a real boy.
That's a good move. That's a good move.
Yeah, I like it.
Rook h8's not good here because I can just block with f6, so there's no rook h6 idea.
Now you've got to play a7 to keep the rook stuck. You're trading a for h, but I don't think that really helped White's winning chances.
Did he need to do that?
Yeah, I don't think so. With you.
I don't, and you know what I mean. Like, wait a little more. You're at 10 seconds. Maybe wait till you're at 3 seconds. You have the leverage there. That
poke and prod a little bit longer.
Timing. He's not torturing Wesley enough.
Yep.
And Wesley's doing a very good job of holding. Of course, I mean he's just showing off his defensive skills, but. Let's see.
Okay, I mean Vidit is still in the driver's seat, but now no longer with any kind of time advantage to speak of. So, one of those games where you start to have nightmares that somebody blunders as white and actually loses on time. Okay, he hasn't done it yet, but worries you. Oh, there you go. Nice simplification. Quickly recognizing the drawn king and pawn ending with white's king.